The modern outdoor industry has been lying to you. They spend billions of dollars every year to convince you that survival comes in a plastic wrapper. They want you completely dependent on $500 tents, titanium multi-tools, and chemical fire starters. Why? Because dependent men are profitable. Capable men are not. But what happens when the grid goes down? What happens when your knife snaps, your paracord runs out, and your superglue dries up? If you lose your gear and suddenly become helpless, you aren't a survivalist, you're a liability. Long before the industry took over, your grandfather walked into the deep timber with nothing but a pocket pouch and the clothes on his back. He didn't survive because of what he carried in his bag. He survived because of what he carried in his head and what he could build with his bare hands. Today, we are throwing away the tools. No knives, no cordage, no modern gear. These are the 5 unbreakable bare hand survival skills that the industry tried to bury. Equip your mind. Let's get to work. Number 1. Pine pitch glue. Modern hikers will wrap their gear in duct tape or carry tubes of chemical superglue. But when that runs out, how do you repair a snapped boot sole or waterproof a bark container? Your grandfather didn't need a hardware store. He had the forest. By finding the sticky resin bleeding from a pine tree and mixing it with a little white ash from the campfire, he created an unbreakable natural adhesive. The ash acts as a binder, turning sticky sap into a rock-hard cement when it cools. You heat it up, apply it, and when it sets, it is stronger than the gear it's replacing. The industry can't sell you a pine tree, so they don't teach you this. Number 2. Mud daubing and wattling. The industry sells you thin nylon tents and calls them weatherproof, but when a true storm hits and the wind shreds that nylon, you are left exposed to the elements. When you have zero gear, your hands are your shelter. Wattling is the ancient art of weaving flexible branches and twigs together to create a wall. Daubing is taking mud, water, and dead grass, mixing it with your bare hands and packing it into those woven walls. It dries like concrete. It stops the wind dead in its tracks. It traps the heat of your fire. It is pure, zero-gear insulation. Nylon rips, but the earth doesn't. Number 3. The hand drill. Everybody loves a ferrule rod or a waterproof lighter. Even a bow drill is a great tool, but it requires a string. What if you have absolutely nothing? The hand drill is the ultimate flex of raw human capability. Zero cordage, zero tools, just 2 pieces of dry wood and the friction of your palms pushing down and spinning that spindle until your hands blister. When lighters fail and matches get soaked, pulling a glowing ember out of a piece of wood using nothing but the sweat of your brow and your bare hands proves you are the boss of the wilderness. It separates the tourists from the true woodsman. Number 4. Ash cleansing. Sanitation in a grid-down scenario is a matter of life and death. Once the hand sanitizer and camp soap run out, a simple cut can get infected, or grease from a kill can contaminate your gear. The industry wants you buying tactical wet wipes. Your grandfather used the campfire. Pure white hardwood ash, when mixed with a little water, creates a natural lye. You rub it into your hands or use it to scrub your cast iron, and it naturally cuts through grease and kills bacteria. It's free, it's highly effective, and it requires 0 plastic bottles. The old ways provide. Number 5. Tracking by touch. Modern hunters rely on trail cameras and GPS collars. If they find a track, they just look at it. But an amateur only sees the shape. A grandfather reads the story. You drop to your knees and use your fingertips to feel the track. Are the edges of the dirt crumbling or are they sharp? Is the mud inside the track still wet or has the sun started to bake a crust over it? By feeling the moisture and the tension of the soil, you aren't just figuring out what passed through, you are calculating exactly when it passed through. You stop looking at the woods and you start feeling the pulse of the earth. An American survivalist knows that a compass is just a tool. Your mind is the weapon. You cannot buy true capability off a shelf. You have to build it with your own 2 hands. Stop relying on fragile gear and start trusting the unbreakable skills that our grandfathers used to conquer this land. If you respect the old ways and you're ready to stop being dependent on the industry, hit the like button. If you want to build raw capability, hit subscribe and join the pack.